Hey, if you think all campsites on the JMT are the same, then you haven't seen these. But listen, the wrong campsite could wreck your day and maybe even your whole hike. I spent 14 nights on the JMT with my teenage son, and these are the 10 that stood out to us the most. Not just for the views, although they were beautiful, but for comfort, for peace and quiet, and for how they set us up for the next day. And yeah, there was one that we would never go back to. So these aren't just pretty spots. Each one earns its place based on views, comfort, and smart mileage. So I'll count down from number 10 to number 1, and at the end I'll show you the one I would never camp at again. Okay, so let's get started here with number 10. And coming in at number 10 is the Backpackers Campground in Yosemite Valley. Now this one earns its spot on the list because of how convenient it is and how it sets you up, how it set us up for a complete first day of hiking. We were able to get into the park the day before our permit started so that on July 1st, we could start first thing in the morning and head on down the trail and have the whole day available to us, which fit perfectly within our plans. So the Backpackers Campground costs 10, 15 bucks, but it is perfect as a staging area or to set you up to start your first day or your last day on the trail. Moving on to number 9. Number 9 on our list is Guitar Lake. And for a few reasons, it is perfect to set you up for a sunrise summit of Mount Whitney. Now, some of the drawbacks of Guitar Lake, one, it can be incredibly popular and very busy to stay at. And 2, it's incredibly exposed. And for us, it thunderstormed big time that evening. So that may have made it higher on the list, except for the fact that the storm came through and it was very exposed up there. Fortunately, there wasn't a lot of people, so it was peaceful as we sat and had dinner together as a group. But Guitar Lake, it is a beautiful area and sets yourself up perfectly for a sunrise summit of Mount Whitney. Okay, so moving on to number 8. Number 8 isn't an official campsite because of the weirdness of the trail around the South Fork of the San Joaquin and where the bridge was out in early 2024. So this area, I will say, is near the broken bridge on the South Fork of the San Joaquin. I think we're a little bit south and a little bit west of where the bridge is. I know it's been rebuilt. Great, it was a great spot right near the river there. It was a little bit buggy, so that's why it probably didn't make it higher on the list. And it was in a nice spot that set us up for an early climb up into the Evolution Valley and what I thought was the most beautiful day on trail through the Evolution Valley and up to Muir Pass. So number 8 in the area right around the bridge that goes over the South Fork of the San Joaquin River. Okay, so number 7 is Vermilion Valley Resort and the little Backpackers Campground there. Perfect because VVR is just awesome. It's a great place for resupply. They've got great accommodations. The staff is super friendly, very much catered to the hikers, very friendly to the hikers, and it's free to camp there. So you get all the great conveniences of being in a somewhat of a society with Wi-Fi, with great food, with some resupply options in terms of sending yourself a resupply, as well as a little store where you can pick up a few things. And you get to camp there for free. So highly recommend VVR and the little, I think it's like the mushroom campground that's there. Highly recommend that. Number 7 on the list, convenient place to stay. Do it. Okay, down to number 6. This doesn't have a name necessarily, the ridge before the Sunrise High Sierra Camp. This is on the Far Out app at mile 11.3 of the JMT. It had a gorgeous view of the area, and For our first day, it was amazing to get into camp. We looked at a couple of places prior to that, short of that, on the Far Out app, and it was just really buggy and mosquito-y. But we got up to this spot here on 11.3, and it was perfect for us. After 18.8 miles and I think around 8,200 feet of elevation gain, this campsite will forever be one that we are grateful for. Okay, now into the top 5. Coming in at number 5 is the Bubbs Creek campsite. This is a perfect spot to set you up for an early morning over Forester Pass. There is a bear box there, so you can put your bear canisters in it, and it's a great little campsite. Can fit probably 5, 6, 7 tents, and somebody had even dug in some rocks to make a little bit of a bathtub in Bubbs Creek, which runs just below. It was beautiful. It was peaceful, and the sound of the river right there was so nice. And again, a perfect setup for an early morning over Forester Pass. So we love Bubbs Creek, coming in at number 5. And now for number 4. Number 4 is, for us, is the Upper Palisades Lake for a couple of reasons. 1, it was beautiful. 2, it was a great little sheltered area in with some trees that was really nice. We didn't have a ton of wind that night, but it would have sheltered us very well. And then I think the third reason really is it was the perfect spot to set us up for a 2-pass day. Early going up over Mather and still have enough time to get up and over Pinchot Pass before it got too late into the day where potentially thunderstorms could come through. So Upper Palisades Lake, which I think is maybe not as popular as Lower Palisades, but it set us up perfectly for where we needed to get to on the next day, and it was a beautiful spot to camp. Okay, into the top 3. Coming in at number 3, this is on the south side of Muir Pass, about 4 miles down from Muir Pass, again going southbound. This is on the middle fork of the Kings River. It was a stunning place to camp. Wonderful place nestled into some trees, but had great views of that granite rock that is so prevalent in that part of the trail in particular. That whole day coming up and over Muir Pass, through the Evolution Valley, and then down into this campsite, about 4 miles on the backside, or I guess the south side of Muir Pass. Absolutely phenomenal place. We really, really loved that camp right along the south fork of the Kings River there. Not very buggy at all, and really just enjoyed a beautiful, beautiful evening. Okay, so number 2. Number 2 campsite for us was Lake Virginia. Lake Virginia was just stunning. There's some great little campsites there to kind of give you a little bit of shield from the elements. It was a bit windy that evening for us, so it was a great place where we could get into the trees, but there were some places right near the lake that you could camp as well on a nice day. It was just a beautiful place, especially coming out of Red's Meadow, where we stayed the night before. It was just so nice to get back out into the forest, into nature, and enjoy a beautiful campsite, a beautiful sunset nestled into the trees there at Lake Virginia. Okay, so listen, there's a couple that didn't make the list, only 4 actually, but maybe an honorable mention, I will say. It was Lyle Canyon, kind of anywhere through Lyle Canyon. It was super pretty, but for us at that time of the year, it was just really, really buggy, and the mosquitoes were pretty strong in that area. Had it not been for the mosquitoes, I think Lyle Canyon would have easily been possibly a top 5. It is just that pretty through the canyon and sets you up nicely to get up and over the first pass for us over Donahue Pass. So Lyle Canyon in contention, honorable mention. It's a nice place to plan to camp. Time for number 1. And if you haven't guessed, you probably can guess. The best spot for us to camp on the John Muir Trail was Thousand Island Lake. Yes. the most iconic and beautiful spot on the John Muir Trail, in my opinion. It was just stunning. The beauty, the scenery, being able to go out into the lake and do a little swimming and just take in the beauty of that area. I think what was even more beautiful, or probably the most beautiful part of that for us, was waking up early the next morning and getting out as the sun was coming up. The sun coming up, hitting off of Banner Peak. It was probably the best picture that we had on trail, and I'll throw it up here for you all to see. But by far, the best place for us to stay on the entire trip was Thousand Island Lake. Okay, and finally, the campsite that I will never stay in again if I ever do the JMT a second time. And really, we kind of had to stay at this one out of necessity. But this is on the backside or the south side of Bear Ridge. We left VVR at the 4 p.m. I think shuttle out, and needed to get on the other side of Bear Ridge and down where there was actually water source and a place to camp. The problem, one, it was late when we got there. Two, it was pretty buggy. And I think three, we missed out on some pretty amazing other campsites because we were focused on having to do the miles or to get to that particular place. We came down Bear Ridge kind of in the golden hour as the sun was setting, and it was stunning, the beauty of the setting sun hitting Bear Ridge as we were coming down it. And there were a lot of PCT hikers that were coming up it and had found just beautiful spots on the ridge to camp. And so I think there's a little bit of comparison there that makes our campsite on the bottom of Bear Ridge just really disappointing. So if you're planning on VVR and getting out of VVR, maybe adjust your plans a little bit, however you need to do it. But the base of Bear Ridge on the south side, for us, was not a great decision. I will never camp there again. Okay, so look, everybody's perfect campsite is gonna be different, but these 10 really made our hike unforgettable. Hey, so in the comments below, let me know, what are your favorite campsites along the John Muir Trail, or are there any that others should avoid that you may have had a bad experience with? I'd be really interested to know and to hear. And if you are in the process of planning your JMT hike, please check out my video here, the definitive 5-step plan to planning the perfect JMT hike. And with that, I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.